Welcome to Inside Gaming. I'm Brian. It's weekend roundup time. So you guys probably know that Sony's new Game Pass-ish service, the PlayStation Plus Premium, launched this week. Well, hopefully it will come soon to the rest of the world too. And if you aren't familiar with the new service, it's basically PlayStation Plus with a bunch more tiers. The lowest is basically the same stuff that's PlayStation Plus right now. Then as you move up the tiers, you get access to more and more of Sony's backlog, including old PS4 and PS5 games, PS2, PS1, PSP Classic games, even cloud streaming some PS3 games. On the high end, the premium tier, it's going to cost you about $18 a month here in the US or $120 yearly. It's basically Sony's attempt to have an answer to Game Pass, which has been very popular and has helped rejuvenate Xbox as a platform, even after it had a pretty rough last generation. And this could potentially be a big moneymaker for Sony. Executives recently said that the PlayStation Network has more than 100 million monthly active users. It generates more than $14 billion in sales per year. So that is a big base of people that they're hoping will upgrade to the new premium tiers. Okay, so PS Plus Premium is here, but the bad news is that Sony already being kind of cheap and weird about some things. Let's get into it. First up, they confirmed this week that none of the streaming games will support DLC. So that includes all of the PS3 games. Those can only be streamed right now. That is especially bad for some PS3 games like Asura's Wrath, which had a bunch of DLC episodes. Plus it had a Street Fighter crossover DLC. Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 had a lot of DLC too. Lost Planet 2 had map packs. Resistance 3 had Brutality DLC. That had new skins, a survival mode, some new tracks from Mastodon. So yeah, players are gonna miss out on a lot of stuff because DLC has been an integral part of games for years now, and reaction from fans was not pleased, as you can imagine. Reddit user Darth Virgin Darth Virgin. He force chokes somebody and then is like, I don't know what to do next. I'm a virgin. I don't know. That's terrible. Darth Virgin wrote, here's an idea. Just include all the DLC by default when you're selling/renting people a game that came out 10 plus years ago. You nailed it, Darth Virgin. That's probably the first time you nailed anything. And SM Rights wrote, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Sony's new PS Plus thing seems not great, or at least not ready. Meanwhile, Sony is being weirdly cheap when it comes to the cost of the new service. According to an email posted from a player in Hong Kong, they purchased a PlayStation Plus membership at a discounted price, but Sony was making their upgrade fee higher if they wanted to move up tiers, basically wiping out the sale value from their upgrade. In a translation of an email they got, a Sony representative said, if you need to upgrade to level 2 or 3 premium membership, you will need to make up the difference between the previous discounted price and the normal price. Now, it's important to note that people don't have to upgrade their PS membership, and if they don't, they can still use their base level PS Plus subscription, but it was weird and cheap of Sony to be forcing people to make up the difference and basically pay Sony back for a discount they got. Now, I know it's not the end of the world, but it just seems like a weird, not good look for Sony to be this anti-consumer right as you're rolling out this new service. There was an outcry from fans. Then on Wednesday, Sony reversed course, saying it was all a mistake. They tweeted from one of their support accounts, due to a technical error, players in Asia who have previously purchased a PlayStation Plus membership at a discount have been incorrectly charged for their upgrade pricing. This error has been fixed and impacted players will receive a credit. Technical error. Sure it was. You sent out an email saying you'll have to upgrade. That's not a technical error. You clearly instructed your reps to say that, and now you're backing down. But whatever, at least they backed down. But we might be seeing a little bit of a return to bad Sony here. Meanwhile, Game Pass continues to roll along, but there's some people claiming that it's losing a little bit of its luster. Kotaku ran a piece headlined, after years of hype, the Xbox Game Pass burnout is here. And they also claim that a drought of AAA games has spurred some to unsub from Microsoft's Games on Demand service. They pointed to delays of Starfield and Redfall as the reasons behind this, saying that Microsoft's first-party cupboard looking pretty bare this year. But as for evidence of this claim, they didn't have much. They quoted some folks in the gaming sphere. There was Tony Polanco, who writes for Tom's Guide. There was Washington Post reporter Gene Park, who both said they were unsubbing for now. So that's two people. And then the Kotaku writer wrote, it's unclear whether the extended combo has had a tangible impact on Game Pass subscription numbers. Microsoft does not make such figures public, and representatives from the company did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Guys, I'm not trying to criticize another news outlet here, but that is pretty weak sauce. You're doing a story with no numbers to back it. It's basically based on 2 tweets. I mean, I get it. I've written a story based on 2 tweets before, but I also say, look, guys, this is just based on 2 tweets. Come on, guys. Anyway, we will see how people respond to PS Plus Premium. I think it'll be interesting to see how much not having new releases day and date will affect the service, because that is one of the huge selling points of Game Pass. So we will see. We'll get to the stories in just a second, but first, guys, let's talk about Omaha Steaks. Omaha Steaks has been with us forever. I just tried some of their burgers, the ground beef. Oh, it was so good. My family was like, BG, these are like way better than normal. I was like, yeah, I know, we got Omaha Steaks. And everybody's like, hooray! So, guys, here's a little gift-giving wisdom from Omaha Steaks. Dads want steaks. I can tell you, I'm dad as hell and I want steaks. With Father's Day just around the corner, there isn't a better gift than Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com, type Roundup in the search bar, and order the Dads Want Steaks package. Your dad will thank you, I promise. For just $99, this limited time package includes 16 mouth-watering entrees he is guaranteed to love, like smoky, tender, bacon-wrapped filet mignons, gourmet jumbo franks, and their air-chilled boneless chicken breasts. And for a sweet finish, delicious caramel apple tartlets. And as a special gift for my listeners, when you type Roundup in the search bar and order the Dads Want Steaks package, you'll also get 8 free Omaha Steaks burgers. I told you, they're delicious. These burgers are full of bold, beefy flavor, made from 100% Omaha steaks. Don't wait, guys. Send Dad more than just a gift. Send him an experience he'll love and he can share with you. Go to omahasteaks.com, type Roundup into the search bar, and order the Dads Want Steaks package. You'll get 16 entrees and 4 desserts, plus 8 free Omaha Steaks burgers. That's omahasteaks.com, keyword Roundup. Thanks, Omaha Steaks. On to the rest of the stories. This is a first. The QA group at Raven Software has voted to unionize. That makes it the first time workers from a major US gaming company have successfully done so. This comes from friend of the show, Bloomberg's Jason Schreier. Love you, Jason. He tweeted that there were 19 votes for and 3 votes against unionizing. He added, it's now official. Testers at Activision-owned Raven Software have voted to form the US video game industry's first major union. Now, this comes after Activision Blizzard has tried to fight the move every step of the way. A VP messaged employees in Slack that unions could hurt our ability to create great games. An Activision Blizzard spokesperson told GamesIndustry.biz, we respect and believe in the right of all employees to decide whether or not to support or vote for a union. We believe that an important decision that will impact the entire Raven Software studio of roughly 350 people should not be made by 19 Raven employees. So that's a little backhanded slap there. That is a reference to an objection that they made to the National Labor Relations Board. Activision said that any union at Raven should require a vote from all of the staff rather than just the QA testers. That was rejected by the NLRB and the vote was allowed to go ahead. And obviously those QA staffers voted to unionize. Some hot button political topics have impacted the gaming world lately. You might remember that PlayStation kind of got dragged into the abortion debate after Jim Ryan sent that email saying to respect everybody's differences. That caused a big outcry. Well, EA told its employees recently, yeah, we're not going to talk about any of it. Kotaku reported that during a company meeting this week, EA staffers asked executives about a possible statement regarding abortion rights and trans rights. And they were told that EA wouldn't give a stance publicly because, quote, being an inclusive company means being inclusive of all those points of view. Chief People Officer Mala Singh told them, these things are hard and they're personal and we all have our own perspectives and sometimes we won't speak and that will be upsetting and I understand that. We really do. Singh said that EA only speaks out when it will, quote, actually have a positive impact and it is a, quote, consistent perspective among all 13,000 employees around the world. Translation, it's a hot potato and we're not gonna touch it. Singh instead encouraged developers to make use of healing circles, whatever those are. Those involve tarot cards or I don't know. So yeah, no public statement from EA, but it's interesting. Their corporate comm director, Lacey Haynes, told Kotaku that the company is focusing on, quote, making sure that people have access to the healthcare benefits we provide as a company, even if those aren't available locally. That's a pretty clear reference to abortion care. And despite their policy of no public statements that they just announced now, EA did sign an open letter opposing Texas's anti-trans bill in March. All right, so here is an interesting bit of recent gaming history. Xbox apparently turned down an offer from Marvel to make exclusive games. How did that work out? Not great. This comes from the book, The Ultimate History of Video Games, Volume 2, which came out last year. Somebody on Reset Era posted some sections of the book. They had to do with Jay Ung, who was hired as Marvel's VP of Games in May of 2014. He was trying to figure out why Marvel's box office success hadn't translated into gaming. He looked for a publishing partner, and so he passed on the idea of Nintendo, thinking, well, they're more into their own IP. That left PlayStation and Xbox. Ong said, I pinged both sides, both Xbox and PlayStation, and said, we don't have any big console deals with anyone right now. What would you like to do? Microsoft's strategy was to focus on their own IP. They passed. Then he met with some PlayStation execs. They offered to make a AAA PlayStation exclusive Spider-Man game. They ended up turning the project over to Insomniac Games. The rest is history. You know what happened next. Worked out very well for Sony. All right, speaking of Sony, they announced a bunch of new series deals for some of their biggest IP. At an investor briefing this week, PlayStation boss Jim Ryan said during a Q&A that a God of War series is coming to Amazon, a Horizon Zero Dawn series is coming to Netflix, and a Gran Turismo show is coming to an unannounced platform. So Sony, they've got a lot of shows in the pipeline. There's the Last of Us series that's coming to HBO, the Twisted Metal series coming to Peacock, a movie adaptation of Ghost of Tsushima is in the works, and of course, the Uncharted movie. So a lot of stuff there. All right, time for a 5-second review. It's a vampire game set in Boston, so I assume all the vampires will just be complaining about Deflategate. That's a sports joke. Y'all aren't gonna like that at all. All right, let's talk about the games coming out next week. First up, Insomnis Enhance Edition. Insomnis is a first-person horror game focused on story, exploration, and solving puzzles to advance through a terrifying atmosphere. Players take control of Joe Castevet, who will have to deal with a mysterious inheritance he has just received, and in the process, discover all the secrets of the Castevet mansion. Castevet? Castevet, I don't know. It comes to PS5 May 31st. The Last Taxi. Conversations at the end of the world. You are the last human taxi driver in a desperate future where the last remains of civilization are propped up by surveillance, automation, and human modification. The hours are long and the pay is terrible, but hey, at least you have a job. Boy, that sounds like the current future. Comes to PC VR May 31st. Samurai Riot Definitive Edition is a 2D co-op beat 'em up with a twist. Play as two charismatic warriors who are torn between their duty and their beliefs and follow your own path of honor to one of 8 unique endings. Comes to PC and Switch June 1st. Silt is a surreal underwater puzzle adventure game. Alone in an underwater abyss, you are a diver searching the deep to uncover long-forgotten mysteries. Possess the creatures around you to solve puzzles and travel further into the darkness. Comes to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch June 1st. Gigapocalypse. Become a customizable giant monster with manifold skills in Gigapocalypse, inspired by classic kaiju movies such as Godzilla and King Kong and the game classic Rampage. Comes to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch June 2nd. Empire, Dukes of the Far Frontier. This is set in a neo-Victorian Wild West. The Archduke welcomes you to the utopian city of Bliss, a city built by steam-powered automatons. The promise of a carefree life awaits, or does it? Claw your way through the dark secrets lying under the surface in this isometric alternate history RPG adventure. Comes to PC June 3rd. And finally, Diablo Immortal. Uh-oh, do you guys not have phones? Well, if you do, and you like a mobile Diablo game, here you go. Battle against ancient evils and discover the untold story between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3 in this all-new, massively multiplayer online action RPG. The Archangel Tyrell is presumed dead, and mankind is left to deal with the aftermath of his actions. Fragments of the Shattered World Stone, still imbued with great power, are tainting the land. Diablo's minions hope to harness that power to allow the Lord of Terror to return. It comes to mobile and PC. There's a PC version too, June 2nd. That's all the news I got for you this week. I hope you're having a great weekend, guys. We'll see you soon.